Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 5 of season 4 of Young Justice. Last episode quite literally ended with a bang and quite the cliffhanger, as we don't really know the fate of Superboy after they stopped the attempted assassination of all the Garoon on Mars. So, I'm curious to see where this all goes. I think there's the possibility, at least, that Connor's alive, possibly in the future with the Legion. It's a kind of a theory that's been tossed around, and because we know the Legion was on their way down there to check on this whole situation, because they had the timer down to the T about when this thing was about to go down, and whoever this was that they were tracking, they were keeping an eye on, as well as they put this additional bomb on McComb's little canisters to interfere with Superboy's attempt at disarming the device. So they kind of planned ahead. So it seems like somebody's trying to ensure that whenever Superboy goes to stop this from exploding, it takes him out. But we got that little vapor shadow on the ground that kind of makes it look as if he was vaporized by the explosion or by whatever happened there. But that might just be a distraction. Maybe they need the present day to believe he's dead. I don't know. Yeah, I really just hope he's not actually dead. That's like taking out yet another heavy hitter from the team. I don't know. I don't know how that would play out in the long run. Especially considering Wally's still gone and we haven't actually had him return yet either. So I still think that's going to be around the corner eventually, but we're not there yet. So, but for now, looks like the show's taking a little bit of a break from that arc, and we're moving on to the next arc, which is centered around Artemis and her family, it seems like. So we're going to be getting ready to dive into that. I'm sure it'll be a little bit before we actually get some answers regarding what happened with Connor. But that being said, if you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode or any of the other episodes we've been covering here on the channel, you can check that out over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, it gets you access to those as well. This is one of the ways you can help support us over here, help us work towards getting a full-time editor to help with some of these videos, so that we can maybe look towards expanding, picking up different shows, new shows, or shows that we normally don't cover. But if that's not a way you can support the channel, you can do so by simply liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing these videos, because giving the interaction to the video and giving that engagement gives YouTube the signal to promote the videos more. So it just in turn helps us out in the long run. So guys, that all down and out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this week's episode of Young Justice. Here we go.
Who said it?
Victor Hugo, Professor Croc!
Oh, the bishop!
Bishop Noodle said it to Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean. Oh, did they just get the news?
Who?
It's Connor.
Damn.
Whoops. I'm not sure.
Oh man, this is fucking her up. Which I get. It's probably triggering her to live through Wally's feelings all over again.
There.
It's great. Sorry. It is great.
But
But I alternate between being numb and barely managing to hold it together. He was like a brother to me. And McGann, I know exactly what she's going through. There are some things you just can never prepare for, and some things you can never get over.
You. In the field, a mistake like that'll get you killed. Learn or die, baby girl.
It's hard to see out of this mask.
It's too damn big for her, Crusher. How's she supposed to succeed wearing your hand-me-downs? You wouldn't go out in gear that didn't fit, so why force her to...
I know the formula, Mom. I know what works for me, what helps me through the grief.
Jade is beyond your help. Beyond all our help. She had everything here and threw it all away.
Maybe. All I know is I need to try. Do you know where Jade is?
Infinity Island.
When Will gets home, tell him I'll be at University Library.
Okay.
Who we have here? Oh, Roy's here.
You're not taking me back.
Not sure where back is, but I'm not opposed to taking you there. You're sure not wanted here.
No one asked you.
Artemis is not here in any of this. Oh. Oh, it was a
Follow me
trap.
from my home. My home. You broke the rules. Makes me want to break some rules too.
Cheshire?
Jeez.
What are you waiting for?
I wasn't following you to attack, and I thought these two were working for the Shadows. My name is Onyx. Onyx Adams. And I need your help. I've defected from the League of Shadows, specifically to warn you. Look, can I stand up?
No.
Okay, fine. Cassandra Savage is on her way here. Her true intent is to become a mole on your team.
I think I've heard this one already.
About Red Arrow or Terra?
About Onyx, like 2 seconds ago.
So, you want us to believe that Vandal Savage's daughter would believe that we would believe that she'd ever betray her father?
Hell would have to freeze over.
Well, as a matter of fact, you might want to break out your mittens. I'll only need the one, thanks.
You must be aware that we are no longer in the business of shadows here. Or light, for that matter.
Once a shadow, always a shadow. You taught me that, Sensei.
Foolishness is not one of them.
This isn't the act of a fool. Something quite different.
Little Damien.
Cheshire may
You've defected?
Yes, and I'm asking for your protection.
Well, I told you that's what she'd say.
After I escaped, the Shadows must have sent Onyx to sabotage my reception with you.
Our intel is that you're loyal to your father.
I was. Until my father killed my sister right in front of my eyes. It's been eating me up inside. Eventually, I realized I couldn't stay.
Oh, tell me you're not buying this.
Vandal Savage doesn't believe in wasting a potential asset. So instead, he did this to teach me a lesson.
Neither of your stories is particularly convincing.
But shouldn't we give them the benefit of the doubt? I mean, how can we be sure?
I assume you have a good therapist lined up for your son.
He will not need one. Unlike your daughter, he will have grown up with his mother. I will never give Damien up.
Then you're
Well,
selfish
until you
fool.
give him to
You are a
his
coward.
dad.
Please don't go. Sorry, sis. Mom's not getting out of prison anytime soon, and I refuse to live in this house with just Dad.
Dad'll come after you.
Let him. I'll disappear like the Cheshire Cat. You should get out too. I'd let you come with me, but you'd slow me down.
Someone has to be here when Mom gets out.
In this family, it's every girl for herself.
Is this really the best place to bring these two? I checked with Ollie and he gave his blessing. If the vault winds up compromised, it's no huge loss. He did say to keep you away from the rocket launchers. Ha friggin' ha. He really said that. Yeah, great.
You should understand my position.
Look out! Arrowette!
The truck, on it. With minimal property damage. Spoil sport.
Let me out! I can help!
Property damage! Shadow noodle trucks don't count.
Shadow noodle trucks.
No property damage. Spoil sport.
Clipboard.
That was my favorite clipboard. Keep the pen. Compliments of Bowhunter security. On second thought, I'm gonna need that back.
Thank you.
So basically, both of you could have freed yourselves at any time.
Basically.
Of course.
And escaped too.
Basically.
Of course.
Temporary cells A.
This isn't helping at all.
Tara, you knew them both when you were a shadow. What do you think?
Onyx had talent, but she wasn't bloodthirsty enough for Slade's tastes. But Cassandra was always a true believer. She worshipped her father.
If I learned anything from Cluemaster, it's that no matter how hard it is to admit your dear old dad's one of the bad guys, sooner or later you have to walk away.
What is that expression? The falling apple does not bounce far from one's head.
As the tree is bent, so grows the twig. Sometimes the apple doesn't even fall. It just sits on the branch and turns rotten.
Are we still talking about Cassandra?
Jesus.
Orphan, you were a shadow too. Should we trust Cassandra? Onyx.
They could both be moles. And he's a former mole, so he'd know. Ow!
Both could be legit, but the shadows got them to mistrust each other.
Jeez, kick them both loose and let the shadow...
No. There's even a chance one of them or both is telling the truth. We have to protect her. Or them. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption.
She'll be lucky if she survives the week. But if she thinks she's ready to be out on her own, fine. Now, let's get you ready.
What's wrong with Leanne? Jade? You signaled me. What's wrong with Leanne? Leanne's fine. She's upstairs, asleep. Then why did you call me? I didn't.
I did.
Okay.
I see a beautiful city and a brilliant people rising from this abyss. And in their struggles to be truly free, in their triumphs and defeats, it is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities.
Well, it definitely seems like they're running like Connor is gone, at least. They added his memorial next to Wally's. They passed on the news to the other team members. Again, I don't know. Like, they definitely could just roll with it. It could just be the case. But I have a feeling that the Legion probably stepped in. At least that's just what I'm hoping at this point. So we'll just have to wait and see. And then seeing Artemis having to deal with another loss of one of her, like another person like extremely close to her brother of sorts. It'd just be like the same of losing anybody on the OG team, I would imagine. And, you know, on top of that, she knows what Magan's going through in this moment because of how she lost Wally. So, like, there's a lot of emotional tension running through this episode on top of whatever's going on within the family. They're trying to track down the shadows. I mean, they got approached by a defect one, Onyx, and then who came to warn them about Vandal Savage's daughter defecting and seeking their help, but it being a ruse to infiltrate. But they're both kind of like selling the same story about the other, so I don't know where that's gonna go. Who knows? Maybe they're both telling the truth. Maybe they both been deceived and they're both fine. Cheshire went to go take on that one dude. I don't remember his name, because he's got a bounty out on her head with the shadows. So like, it's just like, what's going on? Like, what's the goal here? And then she gets that message that something's wrong with her daughter and leaves. So it's like she was ready to die there in that moment, I guess. And when she failed in her little vengeance quest and then went back home. But the League does seem to be after people. It could all just be show. Like, I like the little breakdown we had at the end with them all like trying to like comb through all the different angles this could go, and like because they're both telling these similar but opposite stories, both of them could easily be believed or mistrusted given their situations, and giving the people in attendance, you know, between Spoiler and Artemis, that like it's very like, you know, just because she grew up following in her daddy's footsteps doesn't mean eventually she's going to have to walk away from all that, because sometimes they cross a line. And we saw Vandal cross a line. As she said, we saw what he did last season, and it was pretty brutal, considering. But yeah, I don't know. The action sequences in this episode were pretty strong. The flashbacks to Artemis with Sportsmaster was, I like those a little bit, to see like how her and Jade were taking it differently, and then Jade just leaves her with him as she goes off on her own. We saw little baby Damien with Talia. So I'm wondering when that'll come into play. Obviously not anytime soon, but that's entertaining. I can't wait to see how they put their spin on Damien if they get that far. But Talia trying to like mother shame Cheshire, probably not the best example, you know. Talia, I was like, well, I got my son with me. I was like, I don't know, man. It's not probably a healthy relationship either. You probably shouldn't be bragging about that. But it is what it is, guys. It really is. Yeah, I don't know. How's this going to tie into things? I like that we're getting like these little arcs, with these kind of threads that I assume will eventually weave back together. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say on this episode. It was pretty emotional. Obviously, having to put Artemis through this again. I think the sequence in the beginning was really well done, as showing like how she's gotten along in her life, how she's kind of finally got, you know, been able to move forward a little bit, and then this news rocks her, and then there's this back and forth, this transition between what we saw before and then her going through the cycle the next day, and everything is off. She doesn't catch the cup. She's not able to finish the quote for her class. She's not able to, you know, dodge all the hits on the street. Like, she's just like, it's weighing heavy on her. Like, I just like that. I thought that was really well done to show, one, how she's healed from her past trauma from where we seen her last, to being reintroduced to that exact same feeling yet again after the loss of Connor. I don't know. I just thought that was a really beautiful way to kind of represent that whole thing, especially in animation. But guys, what do you think of the episode? Who do you think we should trust? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. If you want to see the full-length reaction, remember that's over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, gives you access to that as well. Feel free to join our Discord. Links to that is down in the description below. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Mandy Share, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yuri Korskov, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, and Jeffrey Hale. Thank you guys so much for your support. But I'll see you guys next week with the next episode of Young Justice. Take care, everybody.